Hey, shalom, brothers. It's the brother Zion from GMS Boston. Welcome to GMS Collage. First of all, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of GMS, the great millstone who rule well. Salutations to all you Akim on the highways and byways, on the four corners of the earth. Pushing this gospel, noising it abroad, into the ears of the elect. God willing, I named this video the Living Waters, because this truth, man. When you get into this truth, you first of all you drink from that fountain, and then you attain the knowledge of the scripture, and then you're ordained to pass it out. You don't want to obtain knowledge of the scripture and go hide your talent, so to speak. You're ordained to pass it out. If not, you have a lot of blood on your hands. So, first scripture that I'm going to read is John 7:38. This is John chapter 7, verse 38. And it says, "He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water." So the Lord said, he that believeth on him, as the scripture is saying, out of his belly shall flow rivers of flowing water. Now the next question would be, what does that mean? What is the rivers of flowing water? And before we get into that, I'm gonna give you just like a little analogy, a little example. When you see Esau talking about finding life on other planets such as Mars, they always say they're sending out space stations out there to look for water, because they know where water is life sustainable, because water is an element, a key element of life. This is what you need to give life and bring forth life and to sustain life. Even when you're in your mama's belly, you're in water. The earth is made up of almost 90% of water, and your body is made up of mostly water. Water is what you need to, water seeds to bring forth the fruit, and plants, because plants are living things, animals. So water is life sustaining. So when you receive this word and you believe on the Lord, as the scripture is saying, and your belly's flowing with water, you're hosing the water out. The Lord said, if you love me, you feed my flock. So you gotta feed the flock. And let me give you let me pull a scripture to prove that. It's Matthew's real quick. I'm gonna go to Matthew's chapter 5. Matthew's chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5 verse 6. It says, "Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled." Yeah, so blessed that the sheep is going to thirst after righteousness, and they will be filled. So how are they going to be filled? They're going to be filled with the knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And that's what's going to sustain you. That's what's going to give you life. That's what's going to separate the alive from the dead. Like it says in Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, when he says, "Son of man, prophesy unto these bones that they may live." Basically feed the flock so that they may live. With what? How do you feed them? You feed them with the scriptures, and you sanctify them with the truth. You give them the truth, because right now, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, down to the elders and down to our camp leaders and to us, we've been given His word, and we've been given it, and we're giving it. We're giving this word because the ultimate goal is to get to the kingdom. And let me see. This is read John chapter 6 verse 35. This is John chapter 6 verse 35. It says, "And Yahweh Shai said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst." There it goes again. Because we know the Lord was a walking manifestation of the word. So when you believe on the word, and you believe on the Lord, they simultaneously, they go hand in hand. And we know that those that believe on the Lord, they're gonna follow His commandment. And then when they follow His commandment, you get the ultimate reward for that. Just like that, like when you got give you a quick analogy. The rivers, they're constantly moving. Water's constantly moving. It's constantly evolving. The Lord is constantly evolving. That's why He has planets. He said, I go and prepare a place for you. You know, my Father's house has many mansions. Talking about what? Talking about the Lord has plenty of, He's constantly building planets and galaxies and species and you know, and such forth. So He's constantly growing. So to be a fruit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, if we're all one body of Him, we gotta constantly grow too. You gotta constantly grow. Grow in what? Grow in knowledge and in His wisdom. Continue to grow. You can't be at the same level you was in this truth a year ago. You know, you gotta constantly dig deep. Just knowing that you're a Hebrew Israelite isn't enough. You know, just knowing the Lord's name isn't enough. Why? Because the Lord said what? Not everybody that say unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom. So just like water is growing and it's alive and it's constantly flowing and it's constantly going, you have to be constantly in this word and in this thing. Let me read Revelation chapter 7, verse 17. It says, for the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them into the living fountains of waters, and Yahweh shall wipe away their tears from their eyes. So the Lamb is leading the elect. You know? Let me read that again real quick. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them. Come on, the Lord is feeding the elect right now. And shall lead them into the living fountains. And what's the living fountains? We're going to find out what's the living fountains right now. Because right now, the Lord is leading leading the elect through the elders on down. And we're leading the people. And we're going to find out what's the living fountains. It says, I'm going to read that real quick. Fountains of waters, and Yahweh shall wipe away all their eyes. So on our journey into the living fountains, I'm going to read Revelation chapter 22. Because this is the ultimate goal, the kingdom of heaven. This is Revelation chapter 22, verse 1. And He showed me a pure river of water, clear as a crystal, proceeding out of the throne of the Most High and of the Lamb. And in the midst of the street, on either side of the river, there was a tree of life, which bare 12 manners of fruit, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations. You know? There you have it again. That's the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate river that we want to drink from. And that's when the kingdom of heaven is established. So, case in point, man, when you're in this thing, man, you got to keep working. Just like that guy in that kayak, man, white water rafting. He's constantly working. Moving pedals on this side, moving pedals on that side. He's constantly moving. He's constantly working because that water is constantly working, and that water could drown. You could ride the waves, so to speak, or you could get faint, and you could get faint and you could drown, man. You may hit your head on a rock and you may die. That water could sustain you, it could kill you. You could sink in it because that we know that there's good knowledge and there's bad knowledge. You know what I mean? So there's good waters and there's bad waters. Case in point, an example, when the scripture talks about the serpent opened up the flood and tried to go after the lady. What was that? That was wicked knowledge, man. Knowledge of evil. And even going back to the Garden of Eden, where Eve, she ate the fruit of what? Of wickedness, of wicked knowledge. You know, when the Lord told her not to, it wasn't an apple or whatever people say it was. It was just that wicked knowledge, man, or the knowledge of being evil. You know, so you wanna believe on the Lord as the scripture is saying, so your belly could flow with rivers of righteous waters, man, that you may be saved. And I'm gonna go one more scripture and I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna go Jeremiah 31 real quick. because yeah. Let me just go to the scripture real quick and then we'll close up. Jeremiah 31:25. It says, "Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, saying, because thou hast sent letters." Oh, slacky, this is the wrong one. 31:25. It says, for I have sainted the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. So that's you gonna replenish your soul with the word. When you faint, you come to the scripture. The comforter, the real comforter. And with that, I'm gonna close out. Shalom.